Hi, this is Alex for Shiny Shiny and Tech Digest with the LG Viewty, which we're really excited about. Now, in just a second, the focus is going to go straight on the phone and I'll show you how to do certain things on it. But just a quick rundown of the features. We're looking at a phone that is being marketed as a camera phone. They're not trying to call this an iPhone killer because they're saying that, there's markets for music and camera phones, and this is a camera phone. 5.1 megapixels, 120 frames per second video recording, and this 3-inch screen, touchscreen, is obviously going to be the star of the show. So let's get looking at the actual features themselves. Okay, so here we have the main intro screen for the Viewty. 3-inch screen, as you can see, looks pretty similar to the Prada. So I'm just going to go through a basic function like writing a text message first. So go into the message bit, create a new message, and as you can see, you get the normal keypad and can start typing your message. If you prefer, you can use handwriting recognition or the keyboard, which I think is probably one of the handiest features. It's really easy to click on the right button. I did find that I didn't much type the wrong one or the next door one that I meant to. So cancelling that and coming out of that, we'll go into the features that really make this an exciting phone for LG and for the user, which is the camera features. Now, the camera settings are up here, so at the moment it's in video, so I'm going to move it into normal camera mode and just press here. That's the camera button, so I can just take a shot of the lovely shiny media officers. It's the camera settings, though, that I'm interested in. So I'm just going to delete that. That's the settings bit. So as you can see, image size, you can choose between 640, 480 and 320. Image quality is listed there as well. You can choose a particular white balance. You can see that these are features that you would expect to find on a normal camera as well. The ISO feature is quite handy because it goes up incrementally up to ISO 800, which is pretty good for a camera phone. That combined with the low light settings means that actually what looks like a very murky shot in this viewfinder turns out to be an extremely well balanced and very clear shot when you look at the playback. Color options, timer, macro, shutter sounds, focus, and back to normal. So you can actually change to the second camera here and have a look at Ray, our cameraman. So going back into video mode. Now the exciting thing about the video mode on this particular camera is that you can choose to shoot at 120 frames per second. And the thing about that is, even though you can't play back at 120, you can only play back at 30, it means you can do things like slow motion and so forth. So video settings, as you can see, you have more options on the image size and things like that if you're recording specifically for YouTube or something like that. I keep getting my hand in front of the viewfinder. So again, the usual image quality and so forth. The exciting thing about video, however, is also that you can do quite a lot of editing on screen. So I'm just going to go into my playback, and as you can see, you have this kind of random view where you can just click on different images to bring them to the front and double tap if you want to see them. But you can also just have a standard view of what's going on. So I'm just going to do some video editing here. I've gone into my piece and I'll just press pause because it comes up with these icons down the side, and I'm going into the bottom one, which is the video editing options that you can actually do. I'm going to try some audio dubbing so I can give my video a soundtrack. So when I turn it around, I can see that if I've already got voice recordings on here, I can use one of those or one of the default pieces of music or sounds that I have on here. So I'm going to use this one, which I've tried before, and it's incredibly cheesy and wondrous. So yes, I want to erase the original audio, and it should ask me now, yeah, if the audio file is shorter than the video file, you can choose whether to just play it once or repeat it. I'm going to choose to repeat it, and I want to save it to the original file rather than create a new file, so it's a bit like save or save as. And once it's saved, I will just be able to go back and play it back. What I've decided to do is go back into the settings and add a text overlay to the video. So what I'm going to do is just type in what I want to say, which is shiny. Just wait. I can also do this with the on-screen keyboard as usual. Once that's done, I get the option to set it where I want, which is up there, and also decide when I want it to stop and then save. I'm going to save it to overwrite the original file. So going back into the playback screen, if you click on this little plus here, you should be able to see the information about what you've saved. Now you'll see that the files filmed at 320 by 240 save as 3GP files, which is a QuickTime format, and that's what's playing in the corner of the screen at the moment, so it's an example I've actually made for you. Should you film at 640 by 480, and this includes the widescreen option, it actually saves automatically as AVI. So when you play it back and try to edit, it actually gives you different options and isn't quite the same. So if you do want to do a lot of editing on the actual screen, it's well worth using the smaller format. So what else do you need to know about this phone? Well, for a start, there's a famous YouTube link which allows you to actually upload your videos, not just surf and view with one click. Now, that will be operator dependent because although LG are making this available on all networks, it's down to the operator themselves whether they want to enable that particular feature. So you'd have to check with your operator before you got the phone. It's an HSDPA phone, so you shouldn't have any problems with browsing or uploading if you do have that YouTube feature enabled. And the reason I'm taking it apart is that the SD card, micro SD card expansion slot is actually under the battery, which is the only slightly annoying thing about the way it's designed. So to recap, amazing camera phone, amazingly easy to use. It's not 100% perfect, but you know, it'd be hard pushed to find the phone that is. But if you're not keen to wait for the iPhone to hit here, and I know LG aren't marketing as an iPhone killer, but you know, I for one, despite being a massive Apple fangirl, would be perfectly happy to be using this one instead.